Hello and welcome to KHS 110 Strategies for Wellness. Whether this is your first and only class within the Kinesiology College, or if you're thinking about a major in exercise science, sport management, athletic training, or sports psychology, this class will help build a foundation for you to advocate for your best health and become more literate when we talk about health. Our PowerPoint for this week will guide us through an introduction to class, an introduction to your speaker, who am I, and an introduction to what you can expect as we move through our 8 weeks together. Today's PowerPoint will focus on student learning outcomes for this class, how to navigate in my courses. This is a 100 level class, so perhaps some of you have already taken some classes here at Concordia St. Paul, but for some of you, this might be your first class and your first opportunity using our online learning management software. So we want to get you familiar with that, where you can find everything. Where can you find the syllabus for this class and the assignments? What are the due dates and what are the expectations we have for our students? How to get help? And then we'll dive a little bit into the content of this class. How do you create your best life? Meaning, how do you work toward health literacy and think about the different dimensions of wellness and what kind of role they play in your life? I'll also introduce you to our SMART goal assignment, which you'll be completing by the end of this week. So whose voice are you hearing on these PowerPoints? Well, the photo here is of me. I am Professor Jennifer, or Jen, Myers, and I am in our undergraduate exercise science department, specifically focused with our traditional on-campus students. I've been at Concordia since 2021, and I have a background in sports psychology. Previous to being at Concordia, I worked in fitness administration and also campus recreation. I am not your instructor for this class. However, I am narrating these PowerPoints because we have multiple sections that are offered every semester. I am also the internship liaison for anybody who is in the College of Kinesiology. So if you are thinking about a major or a degree within our college, we require an internship for your degree program, and I would be the person you would talk to regarding internship locations and approvals. So you can keep my name and my face handy. Some of my favorite classes to teach at Concordia are KHS 435, Sports Psychology, KHS 375, Sociology of Sport, and KHS 475, Applied Exercise Prescription. If you decide to major in exercise science, sport management, pre-athletic training, or sports psychology, you will take one or more of these classes. My contact information is below. But again, remember, I am not your instructor for this class. I am just narrating these PowerPoints. This slide, you can read through our student learning outcomes for KHS 110. These student learning outcomes will be reflected in your discussion boards, in the readings that you participate in the PowerPoint lectures that you watch, the assignments that you do, and also some of the critical thinking that you do as we come together for our 8 weeks. So we will explore, analyze, and communicate health-conscious behaviors, talk about major health problems in our community and around the world, identify components of wellness, how we define wellness, and how do those components interact with each other. Identify and develop some attitudes and skills which influence behavior change, both for us individually and possibly for our communities. Critically analyze health literature. So what does it mean to read research compared to look at popular trends and fads within the health and wellness field, and then explore career opportunities within exercise science, business, coaching, personal training, and other careers that may need more education after an undergraduate degree. When you navigate to My Courses, you will see a list of all the current courses you are enrolled in. KHS 110 will be one of those choices. You can click on that course and you can use the navigation to find the things that you need. All of the weeks for the course will be on the left-hand side, so you can open and expand those week by week. You can also click on the course schedule to see a high-level overview of due dates, assignments, and readings. Under the Course Essentials tab, you will see a faculty welcome from your instructor for this class, our syllabus, the assessments that you will be graded on for this class, the weekly video lectures like this one that you're watching right now, APA formatting resources, library resources, student resources, and any other materials that are needed for this class. When you expand your Course Essentials button, one of the things you will see is the syllabus. The syllabus is like the playbook for class. It has information about the class description, the student learning outcomes, the assessments and assignments, as well as expectations for the students. This will help guide you to plan your weeks accordingly. Keep in mind you have at least one, if not two, discussion boards each week, as well as an assignment. So it's important for you to plan ahead and be able to give energy to each of these assignments. I'd also recommend downloading the syllabus and keeping it. If you will be transferring to a different university or completing this class for continuing education, keeping the syllabus is a great way to prove what you learned and what you did in the class. Because you are in a fully online asynchronous course, that means we will not be meeting as a class. There won't be any chats. There won't be any time that you get together with your classmates. So that flexibility comes with some responsibilities as well. And those responsibilities include some, I would say, stiff deadlines or firm deadlines. Our discussion board posts, just like any other class that you'll be taking online in our College of Kinesiology, are due on Thursdays at 7 p.m. You may have some other classes that have discussion boards due at 11:59 p.m. Our college has discussion boards due Thursdays at 7 p.m. You are able to view your discussion boards a week ahead of time or even more than a week ahead of time. So again, don't wait until 6:45 p.m. to do that discussion board. A lot of times you need to do some reading or watch a video before the discussion board post. So we are expecting college level, thoughtful, comprehensive discussion board posts. Plan your posts ahead of time. You can post on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday and save yourself a little bit of stress and headache. But those are due Thursdays at 7 p.m. You have 2 posts for this first week, and your first post is actually due on Wednesday instead of Thursday. You can post after Thursday. We understand that things happen. That will be a 1-point deduction for every day that it's late. So if you post on Friday, that's 1 point, Saturday, 2 points, Sunday, 3 points, and then anything after Sunday is ineligible. You will be replying to your peers at least 2 replies per discussion board. So if you have 2 discussion board questions, that would be a total of 4 different replies. I encourage you to reply to different students each week because that's how you gain a richer learning experience as well. So any replies that happen after Sunday at 7 p.m. will not be counted. Again, work your time backwards and plan ahead so that you have time to reply to your peers. Something that is a win-win situation for all is when people can post early on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and then that can give everybody else a couple of extra days as well to not have to scramble. You'll also have an assignment each week. Those will be due Sunday at 7 p.m. The assignments do have a little more leniency. That is a 10% deduction per day late. So if you miss that Sunday deadline, you can still turn in your discussion board, or excuse me, you can still turn in your assignments, but the discussion boards have firm deadlines. If you're concerned about any of this, definitely connect with your instructor sooner rather than later. We all appreciate proactive communication, but don't necessarily have a lot of flexibility for people who we haven't heard from for 2 or 3 weeks, and then all of a sudden they're asking for exceptions. So plan ahead, be mature and proactive with the time that you're going to allot to this class. You've chosen CSP for many different reasons, and perhaps one of them is the flexibility for you to be able to do classwork on your own time. However, we know that things happen, especially for adult learners, people who are juggling a full-time job, family, maybe more than one job. We are here to support you. So we don't want you to feel like you're in this alone and feel like it's so overwhelming. Here's a list of ways that you can get some help, whether that be academic help, whether that be some emotional support, whether that just be a sounding board for someone to be able to talk to and give you some thoughts. Reach out to your professor. Be proactive with communication with them. You can reach out to your advisor. You can reach out to the library or tutoring services. That would be for some academic help questions. You can reach out to student support services. That would be for medical concerns or academic success concerns, or if you need to have a student accommodation plan created. Again, be proactive with all of these. The professors at Concordia love being here, love teaching, love to be with the students. So if we don't hear from you, chances are you're going to hear from us, but it always goes a lot better. The scenarios go a lot better when the students are proactive and reaching out with solutions. And I want to encourage you to prioritize your learning. Don't shortchange yourself. This classwork will take up more hours in your week that you maybe had dedicated to something else previously, but you are financially committed to this. You are emotionally committed to this. So we definitely don't want you to shortchange yourself. We want you to come at this with an attitude of being excited to learn and realizing that you're bettering yourself both professionally and personally. So really put this learning high on that priority list, as high as you can get it. So what do we mean when we say creating our best life? Everybody's going to have their own personal definition of what their best life might look like. But I'm assuming it's going to be something along the lines of feeling good physically, having financial stability, building a home or a community for yourself, succeeding at work, and being able to make healthy life choices. A lot of this class revolves around health literacy. We are now, hopefully, knock on wood, post-COVID pandemic, but we have seen in the last few years here how many things change almost overnight, right? There's been conflicting information about medical approaches, and every day in the news and social media we're bombarded by different fitness trends and what's good and what's not good and what doctors are recommending, and it can be very overwhelming to know, well, what's going to be best for me. So learning health literacy, learning how to consume information, both research-based, scientific-based, but also popular media-based, will really help you to decide what is my best life going to be. So understanding the different dimensions of wellness and how those get incorporated with health literacy are going to go hand in hand in making decisions that will affect your life. So if you want to put your PowerPoint on pause, you certainly can while I ask you to either think about it in your head, or if you're a person who likes to write things down, make a list. What is your personal definition of wellness? When you hear the word wellness, what does that mean to you? And then what types of dimensions does that capture for you? So if you're thinking about wellness, what are all the components that might look like in your life and capture in your life? So go ahead and press pause on the PowerPoint if you want to. Here's an opportunity for you to develop your own definition of wellness and your own dimensions of wellness. There is, of course, no right or wrong answer. It's going to be personal to you based on your best life. If you wrote down your list of dimensions of wellness and your personal definition, I'd encourage you to keep that somewhere. Maybe take a snapshot of it, keep it on your phone, post it on your bathroom mirror, or if you thought about something in your head, maybe verbally share it with somebody else in your house or in your family circle, because talking about wellness, the more that we talk about it, the more we can help really define and solidify our own personal definition of wellness. We're going to take a sneak peek now into the different dimensions of wellness. Each week in class will be zeroing in or lasering in a little bit more on a specific dimension of wellness, digging a little bit deeper, asking you to think about that dimension of wellness in your own life and then in our public health life. But for today, consider this a 30,000-foot overview of the dimensions of wellness. These dimensions of wellness that I'm going to introduce aren't the only ones. They are ones that have been introduced by the National Institute of Health, and a lot of other places use this typical wellness wheel. However, this is not exclusive. There could be other dimensions, and there's not a right or wrong with these dimensions. But when you can think about all the dimensions working together or kind of interdependently, then you can see how they affect each other and how they can affect you and your best life. Something I like to remind everybody is that health and wellness aren't static. So you always have to be making choices to choose to be healthy. I have a lot of personal training clients that I've worked with over the years, and some will say to me, Jen, I just want to lose 10 pounds, then I'm going to be happy, or I'm going to call it good, and then I'm where I want to be. As anybody who's maybe tried to lose weight or eat healthy or drink more water or sleep better knows, it's a constant work in progress, right? You don't just achieve wellness. You don't get to the finish line and then ta-da, you're done. You always have to be constantly making choices that are the best for yourself. So this is always evolving, and we always have to make choices for our wellness. So let's dive in and take a sneak peek. The first dimension that comes to mind for most people, including me, is the physical dimension of wellness. So this is things like getting enough exercise each week, getting our servings of fruits and vegetables, knowing our numbers like blood pressure and cholesterol and glucose, being able to carve out time every day for physical movement, being able to get enough sleep, drink enough water, have energy through the day. So physical wellness usually is the one that comes up in people's minds because it's very front and center, right? Every day we have a body and we need to take care of that body, and the choices that we make really can reflect on the way our body cooperates or doesn't cooperate with us. So physical wellness is one that people are constantly working on. A lot of times New Year's resolutions or goals, any type of wellness goal, will revolve partially around some type of physical wellness. Emotional wellness has been getting much more press, much more notice, I would say, in the last couple of decades. People are speaking about their emotions, or people are suffering. People are suffering in silence, and it is fortunately becoming less stigmatizing to talk about emotional distress, mental wellness, mental health. So, emotional health, what does your attitude look like? How is your self esteem? Are you able to share your feelings in a safe and positive way? Emotional wellness, I think a lot more is being understood about it. However, there's still feelings and thoughts around the idea of why can't somebody just change their emotional wellness? Well, go back to physical wellness. How easy is it for people to change those physical habits? Not very easy very often. So emotional wellness is right there as well. It can be a big struggle for a lot of people, especially when we are balancing so many things and we live in a society that goes 24/7 and never shuts off. Intellectual wellness may look different for people in different stages of life. Right now, you listening to this PowerPoint are in a formal type of intellectual wellness. You have enrolled in a accredited university to earn credits to get a degree so that you can continue work or find a new job or find a passion that you love. So that's pretty formalized intellectual wellness. You are reading, you're listening, you're learning, you're dialoguing with your peers. However, intellectual wellness might look different for a 60 or 70-year-old person or for a person in elementary school. It's the ability for you to question things, it's the ability for you to process information, critical thinking. It's not just doing crossword puzzles to keep your brain sharp, but it's taking in the information that you get, being able to make decisions from it, and being a proactive consumer of the information that you get as well. So today you are doing a type of formal intellectual wellness, but intellectual wellness can look a lot of different ways. Our definition of social wellness has also changed post-pandemic. So some of the socializing that you maybe did has pivoted. Perhaps you are back out in the world and you are a social butterfly and an extrovert who loves being around people. And it doesn't just mean that you love being around people, but it's the ability to relate and connect with people in all different environments, at work, at home, within your social circle, and throughout life. So social wellness can be things like volunteering and helping out in your community. It can be certainly things like getting together with friends to enjoy a meal together and have a lot of laughs and tell stories. But social wellness is something that we as human beings crave and need, even though some of us might might look a little different for them than others. But human beings are social creatures, and we don't function very well in isolation, as a lot of us found out when we did have to be isolated. So social wellness is, again, something that people juggle and are maybe creating new definitions of now that we have seen what different ways of socializing can look like. Occupational wellness is in regards to our job or our vocation or our calling. So having a career that is interesting, where we feel we make a difference, it's enjoyable, it's meaningful, we're contributing to society. Occupational wellness doesn't equate to being rich. or having like the best, highest, most prestigious job by any means. But if you are doing something that you love, you're going to feel very fulfilled in your occupation or your vocation. I love working with future fitness professionals. So this job for me is a dream come true. I get to do some of the hands-on fitness stuff and still lead some fitness classes and work with personal training clients. But then I also get to be on the academic side, teaching others what I have learned. So for me, I'm at the pinnacle of my occupational wellness. I enjoy it. I enjoy the interactions with students. I enjoy keeping up with the fitness and wellness trends, and then being able to see what the next people, the next experts in the industry are going to bring along. It's no secret that our environment is changing. We've seen a lot of weather-related disasters and concerns. Even the environment within our neighborhoods and the environment and safety within our cities and rural areas has changed. So environmental wellness is something that can weigh heavily on you if you're not focused on it or looking at the positives as well. So is it things like conserving energy, volunteering with environmental organizations, being outdoors, recycling, staying clean, but then also keeping your neighborhood and your family safe. So the environment meaning Mother Earth as a whole, but then also your physical and your own emotional environment. Environmental wellness is something that we maybe take for granted until you find yourself in a situation where your environment doesn't feel safe physically or emotionally, and then that can be a really hard disconnect between us feeling good about ourselves if our environment doesn't feel stable. Just like occupational wellness, financial wellness is not defined by you being a millionaire or having the most things or being rich. Financial wellness is you being able to feel confident about the way that you're moving with your finances. For some people, their priorities are very different. They want to pay down debt, they want to invest, people want to save, people want to be able to give their wealth to a next generation. Some people want to travel. I'm in that travel bucket. Some people are just trying to make it day by day. However, having a lot of money does not equal financial wellness. People can have a lot of money but have poor spending habits, or have that money all tied up in things that they can't get that money out of. So financial wellness is another component of wellness that if you are feeling stressed financially, it definitely takes a toll on other things, especially your emotional wellness and physical wellness. So we'll dive deeper into financial wellness as well as we get into this semester. Our eighth dimension of wellness is spiritual wellness. I like to think about this tying everything together like one big shoelace. This can mean a religion. So Concordia University St. Paul is a Lutheran university. There are opportunities for you to get plugged into the church both online and in person on campus. However, spiritual wellness does not have to be exclusive to religion. It can be you feeling at one with nature. It can be a sense of purpose in life. So spiritual wellness is really broad. And again, though, when we maybe feel spiritually uneasy or not at rest, that can affect some of the other dimensions of wellness as well. So we will take a look as we get closer to week 8 about what spiritual wellness means for you. If these dimensions of wellness have intrigued you, there's a picture on your slide that has the 8 different dimensions. And what I like to do with students when I teach them in person is have them color in each of the dimensions and where they think they are right now. So maybe for physical wellness, you'd give yourself a 7 out of 10. You're feeling pretty good. You're making some good choices. You're getting some sleep, getting your fruits and vegetables, getting your steps in. You could color up that wheel pretty high. But maybe for intellectual wellness, you're not feeling so hot, or social wellness, needs a little bit of work. Or maybe you're feeling really good in all of your dimensions. You can press pause on the PowerPoint right now, and you can color through your own dimensions of wellness, or if you want to find a wheel online, that certainly works too. But that can be a nice visual representation for you to take a look at areas of growth and areas of celebration for you with your wellness wheel. Give yourself some time to study your wellness wheel. Is there a component of wellness that you are motivated to change? Or perhaps there's a component of wellness that you and somebody in your family together want to modify? This is where we come into our first assignment that will run all 8 weeks. This is our behavior modification plan. We do this assignment, number one, to demonstrate how it can be a challenge to change behaviors with people, but number two, to also demonstrate how the human mind and body can be resilient, and it can feel really great when you can accomplish some small steps. So glance back to that wheel and think about a dimension that you perhaps want to work on. Many students that I've seen in the past have chosen a physical dimension. They've chosen getting more sleep or substituting water for soda or alcoholic beverages, or getting more steps, not driving as much. I've seen people talk about more recycling. I've seen people want to save money. I've seen people want to quit smoking. I've seen people who want to change other negative self habits that they've had. So I want you to pick one thing that you are willing to commit to changing for 8 weeks. And if you have somebody in your family or social circle who maybe has that same goal, that is awesome. You can tag team it and work together. Just know that behavior modification doesn't come overnight. There are different stages of change. And as you know, if you've tried to ever change a behavior before, a lot of pieces of the recipe need to match up for that behavior change to be successful. So you can start by getting yourself prepared, learn as much as you can, come up with an action plan, and then put that plan into action. So what you'll be doing is creating a SMART goal for your behavior change, and then you will actually be tracking your change with an electronic app or some type of device that is going to create some output for you so that we can track that behavior modification, and you can turn that in as part of a behavior modification report at the end of our 8 weeks together. Your SMART goal assignment will be the first assignment due in class. That is due Sunday at 7 p.m. The outline and guidelines for your SMART goal assignment can be found on your My Courses class under the Week 1 resources. You're going to use the SMART goal template to create a goal for yourself with your behavior change. So it's one thing to say, I want to drink more water, right? That can be a goal. However, that's not a SMART goal. We can't measure it. You have to decide, how often is it going to happen? What does more water mean? What kind of plan are you going to have if you fall off of your goal for a day and you don't drink as much water as you wanted to? So the steps of your SMART goal hopefully get you thinking a bit deeper about making that behavior change. So make sure that when you are thinking about what behavior you want to change, again, I see many people choose a physical behavior like more sleep, more vegetables, more steps, or less soda, less smoking, less screen time. Whatever the case might be, it needs to be something that feels relevant and real for you, and something that you are interested in changing, not just something that you are changing for the sake of this class. Once you've come up with that behavior, you will put that behavior into the SMART goal template, and then you will actually start tracking your behavior. You'll take screenshots or write in a journal or create some type of evidence of the behavior change. And this behavior change will continue through all 8 weeks of class. To recap for the week, get yourself familiar with how to navigate in My Courses, where you can find the syllabus, the class outline, the due dates, and the assessments, where you can find the readings for each week on our course materials, and then take a glance at your 2 discussion boards. Start prepping yourself for how you want to write those out. You'll have the first one due on Wednesday and the second one due on Thursday. You'll have your SMART goal assignment, which involves your behavior modification, also due on Sunday. You have a wellness survey. We are collecting some data for the university to see some of the health outcomes for students who take this class. That short survey is also due on Sunday. You'll take the survey, then submit a screenshot of your submission page. You'll also reply to your peers for both discussion boards, and those are due by 7 p.m. on Sunday. You can certainly do that sooner. You should also start tracking your behavior change and celebrate the small wins. This behavior will be tracked through all 8 weeks, and I'd encourage you to feel free to journal about it. Track your ups and your downs, because remember, any time that you want to change your behavior or change anything in your life, it takes small incremental change to make it happen. Take care, everybody. I'll see you again next week.